Yo, what it do with the two, man? It's your boy Ryan Film Study here, man. And today I want to talk about a wide receiver out of Eastern Washington that a few years back, well, way more than a few years back now, that was very underrated, very under the radar. But Steve Smith had him as his top guy.
Drop the ball. Not him.
Kupp.
Cooper Cup. I love Cooper Cup. I know you got Corey Davis. I got Cooper Cup as number one.
Solid
His
catch.
cup's never empty. High motor guy.
You got your top five. Cups your top.
Cup's my top guy. There's no route he can't run.
Lane.
As you can see right there, Steve Smith believed in Cooper Cup before a lot of us even believed in him ourselves. Cooper Cup had a very solid year up until this one year where he did something very historic that even Steve Smith himself did when he was playing. And that was be rewarded with the wide receiver triple crown. But not only was he rewarded with the wide receiver triple crown, he had the greatest wide receiver triple crown season of all time. Obviously, he led the league by wide receivers in touchdowns and receptions, and he was a few yards shy of Calvin Johnson's historic wide receiver yards record that has still not been broken, but he was so close to getting that record. But he did end up getting like the full season wide receiver receptions record, like receiving yards record, because he obviously went to, he obviously went to the postseason. Calvin Johnson did it that year. And he went to the Super Bowl and he won the Super Bowl and he won Super Bowl MVP. So with all of that combining into one season, that literally just turned it into the greatest wide receiver season of all time. But due to his age, obviously Cooper Cup has been starting to regress. People are starting to say things as like he's washed. He doesn't get as open as he used to. But I'm going to be honest, I really don't believe that. You know, he was struggling with some injury. We didn't give him too much time to come back and to really, clear the air and really make his name, a name for himself back again, because, like people kind of were just super fast and ready to just count him out and basically just call quits on him. But there is one team specifically that I think could really juice him back up, and they could literally use him to revive his career back up for the few more years he has left in the league, and he can help them get right back to where they want to be after a rough ending to their season. And that team is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs need a player like Cooper Cup. In the Super Bowl, we saw the Chiefs literally no blitzes, and they still were getting bull rushed. Obviously, they need to work on their O-line a little bit more. They need to work on their tackles. Definitely left tackle, because Josh Sweat was just having his way with Mahomes. The whole Joe Thuney at left tackle thing wasn't working because, Joe Thuney is a left guard. He's a left guard, right guard, whatever guard position you want to put him at. He's a guard. He's not a tackle. So before the game even went off, I knew he wasn't going to play up to par. I just didn't think it was going to be that bad because he's obviously still a really great protector. But I guess, just due to the simple fact that he's not a left tackle, it really did play a big role. And it showed in the Super Bowl. They had no blitzes and they had so many sacks. And then you have a lot of these players who are just all of these deep threats. And I don't want to say that they can't run routes. I would hate to say that because Worthy is a very good player. Hollywood Brown, very good player. But they're not route techs. They more rely on their speed a lot more than their routes. But with a guy like Cooper Cup, he relies on his routes a lot more. And, with all of these Mahomes and Tom Brady comparisons, I'm going to be honest, Cooper Cup coming to the Chiefs would literally be like the Edelman would literally be like what Edelman was to Tom Brady. You have that nice reliable route tech partner alongside with you when you're just trying to make some smooth throws, some smooth short throws, easy to get open. He knows how to use his hands properly. He knows what routes to run. He knows when to stop in the middle of a coverage. Like he can read defenses way better than these younger dudes like Hollywood and obviously Xavier Worthy. So if you add that veteran presence, who I would say is a way better option than what D Hop was this year, I feel like it changes the game for them. So that's exactly why I feel like Cooper Kupp to the Kansas City Chiefs would make so much sense for them this offseason. If they had a guy like Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl, who knows? The Super Bowl would have probably been way closer than what it was. And honestly, they didn't have Rashee Rice. So shoot, Rashee Rice out of all the dudes that I was naming in their wide receiver core that was really active in the Super Bowl. They got Juju and stuff like that, but Juju isn't as good as he used to be. D Hop obviously isn't as good as he used to be. Hollywood isn't really a route tech. And then same thing with Worthy. He isn't really a route tech yet. Can they run routes at times? Yes, of course. But Rashee Rice is their route tech guy. Rashee Rice is also fast as well, but he is their route tech guy. He has the reliable hands. You know what I'm saying? That was Mahomes' number one target before he got hurt. And, ironically, Mahomes is the one who hurt him. But he was literally on pace to having a top 5 wide receiver season this year before the injury. So if he can come back healthy, you know what I'm saying, that would be really well. That would be really good for them. But just because we don't know how good he's going to come back, you know what I'm saying? It's his first year back from an ACL tear or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was ACL tear. It's gonna be his first year back from an ACL tear. So I think what you want to do is sign a guy like Cooper Kupp and just make sure you have that route tech guy that you were missing in the Super Bowl if Rashee Rice doesn't bounce back to his 100% self before pre-injury. So with that being said, that'll be the end of the video, y'all. I think the Kansas City Chiefs should go out there and get Cooper Kupp. I think it will be game-changing, and I think they could go right back to the Super Bowl and potentially even win the Super Bowl. And that'll be the end of the video, y'all. And peace, man.